Hi everybody, this is Tanishka, and I was just going to speak about the new moon that is approaching in Aries. So I'm delighted to say that I'm delivering this from Switzerland, where I arrived yesterday, and very appropriate for the coming new moon in Aries because it's about a new adventure. And as I say that, there's a young boy running down the hill with a stick. Aries is the sign of the child and the part of us that seeks excitement, seeks something that's going to light us up, that's going to ignite our enthusiasm. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for joining me live. And so, if you're feeling bored with life, we're likely to feel a sense of frustration with this approaching new moon if we don't feel like we've got a new challenge, if we haven't got something that really feels like it's going to make our world bigger. So yeah, if you feel feelings of frustration come up or boredom, boredom can be, it's a sign that we've outgrown the old. So this week, you may get a sense of, I can't stand the old way of doing things anymore. Something's got to give, something's got to change. And so it's not just about getting angry or getting mad, it's about using that energy, using that fire to create a new opportunity, a new path, a new way. Hi everyone, lovely that you're joining me live. So I'm just going to go through what the lessons are that we're being challenged on at the moment. Aries is about moving forwards. So, this is a time when we may feel like we need to assert our ideas or independence. Like, what is it that I feel strongly about or that I need to express, rather than just going with the crowd or placating others. The last full moon that we had was in Libra, the opposite sign. And so this new moon in Aries, unlike Libra, which is about, other and relationships and finding a balance, how to cooperate with others, Aries is when we bring the focus back to what do I need? Yeah? Where are my feelings being overlooked? Where are my needs being negated? And of course, we are responsible for making sure our needs are met. If we're immature, we can try to make others feel guilty if our needs aren't being met. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to speak up on our own behalf. And Aries, as a child in the myth, felt very frustrated, like he wasn't truly understood and heard by his parents that were represented by two giants that locked him up in a jar. And so, we can feel like this if we're not articulating our feelings and identifying our needs. And like a child, we can combust, and throw a tantrum, whether that's internally imploding, going into the silent treatment and going into a mood, or whether that's exploding, but, being triggered and detonating. So it's interesting, I think, that we have Chiron in Aries. Chiron is there for 7 years, the longest time that Chiron spends in any sign. And Chiron is known as the wounded healer. I prefer the term the spiritual teacher, because Chiron is the part that embraces the wound and seeks to understand the wound so that we can revere the wound as a teacher and integrate the lessons of the wound to become more whole, more holy, more healed. And so to have this new moon in Aries with Chiron in Aries can really bring up our childhood wounds, which are our core wounds. These are the wounds that get triggered in relationship. These are the stories, the wounded, limiting beliefs that surface when we are afraid that our needs won't be met, or when we're tired, when we're hungry, which is when our energy is low, or in winter and that's when we're more likely to act out of the wounded child. So just be mindful as the energy wanes this week down to exact new moon on Friday, April 5th, or the 6th, depending on which side of the date line you're on, that, you know, your inner child's wounds might be triggered. And it's how we respond to that that helps us to move forwards, or, you know, combust and blame everybody else. So do take extra care on the roads this week, and especially around Friday, Saturday, because when the moon transits through Aries, this is when we're more prone to road rage. You know, it's my way or the highway, or feeling competitive with others. You know, if somebody cuts you off or overtakes you, we can get that sort of, who are you to think you can do that, you know? And I'm not saying you personally, or me personally, but these archetypal energies are more likely to be evoked. And, you know, Aries in mythology is the warrior. He's the part that, you know, loves big engines, horsepower, and so he can take his frustrations out on the road. And, you know, in a culture that is not comfortable with anger and understands how to express it in healthy ways, a lot of people express their anger when, you know, they've got that sense of anonymity within a car or in a virtual environment. So just be mindful that people may act out from that wounded child and wound others with aggression, with anger this week as we approach the new moon. And don't take it personally. Just see them as a child who is tired and hungry and behaving badly, rather than engaging and getting into a battle of wills. What else do we want to say about Aries? I've just seen it is going to be April 5th for everybody, okay? All the times will be published on my Moon Woman page tomorrow. So Aries really encourages us to break free. Now, often that comes after a breakdown, you know, the breakthrough. So in the previous sign, new moon rather, of Pisces, we often have the breaking down. And at the moment we have, you know, just moved out of the sun in Pisces, which is when we can dissolve, when we can feel very sensitive, when we can feel everything is breaking down, to make that space, the void, the chaos, for us to then start a new story. So every new moon is the most powerful time to set clear intentions for manifestation, particularly the first 8 hours after the time of the exact new moon. And as I said, those times will be published on my Moon Woman page tomorrow. Or for those of you that subscribe free, you'll get it direct to your inbox. So, and if you don't subscribe, you can join up on themoonwoman.com. So this particular new moon is a real power window, because Aries is the first sign in the 12 zodiac mandala wheel. So this is the time to set intention for the next 12 months, for, you know, the cycle around the whole zodiac. So you know, whether you like to do that by meditating and visualizing and connecting with the joy and passion that you feel for what it is that you are magnetizing and drawing to you, or whether you prefer a more active manifestation technique like dancing, or even sex magic, you know, anything that raises your core, your inner fire, and then sending out the intention once you've built that energy up. Or maybe you prefer to do something more 3D, more with your hands, like creating a beautiful mandala. So when we create art within a circle, it's like a magical sigil. We distill the energy. Or you might like to create what's called a a dream map or a manifestation map where you cut out bits of images that together are a collage of what it is you're wanting to draw into your life. But this Friday is the power window to do that. So yeah, wherever you are, even if it's on the toilet or in the shower, just take a moment to really set clear intentions on what it is you are bringing into your life. So if we were to go through a few bullet points, it's if you notice yourself feeling defensive and argumentative, look at what it is that needs to change in your life. Anger is like a red warning light that says, hey, something needs to change. We need to do things differently rather than spewing your anger all over somebody else. Really question yourself if you're viewing others as competitors rather than allies, because if we come to a situation armored up and expecting a struggle, that is certainly what we then attract in the hologram. So if you want to fight, then by all means, you know, armor up. But if you don't want life to be a continual fight, struggle, conflict, whether that's in relationship, at work, wherever, look at where you are coming with a chip on your shoulder, trying to prove something and creating conflict as a way of being. Perhaps you're throwing tantrums to get attention, yeah, throwing your weight around like a small child, or being emotionally demanding in the hope that others will parent you. So they're just some of the flags of shadow Aries that we might see this week. This is a great time as the moon wanes to be journaling, self-reflecting, and yeah, really noticing your own shadow so that you don't get caught up in the judgment of others, which is always a distraction from our own crap. So if you'd like more info, keep an eye out for my astro forecast that will be published tomorrow. And blessings on your week, blessings on your new moon. And for more info, you can go to my website, themoonwoman.com. Blessings.